So the origins of why I'm sat in this chair today, I guess started from this race at the beginning of this race season. I'm very fortunate to be able to not only race at the top level in the UK but also in Europe. And ultimately, the injury I sustained was not necessarily from racing this season. It was actually from testing. So I was in Spain about the first half of the season, in between rounds, and myself and my teammate were basically testing the bikes, testing settings, testing new key sort of upgrades to the bikes, if you like. And we were around a particular circuit, and in this particular instance, we'd spent the entire day, in fact the entire weekend, going around the same track, just trying to sort of optimise the bikes and also optimise our lap times. We went out for one particular session, which was basically late morning, and by that point, of course, in somewhere like Europe, the temperatures are a bit higher. The delta temperature of the track was basically at the point where any further and your lap times would have been less optimal. So we went out for the last session. We were trying to, our ambition was to try and beat the all-time lap record around this particular track. And as a result, I did exactly the same thing as I had done for countless laps before, but according to the data on the telemetry in my leathers, there was a little bit of speed that was scrubbed off or reduced in my front wheel, which allowed the entire bike, when the front wheel landed back on the tarmac, to sort of abruptly slow down the front of the motorcycle. So, which in turn meant that it almost catapulted me over the front, and effectively landed in a gravel trap, so at the side of the racetrack, at 220 kilometers an hour. Also, the telemetry told us that the actual impact speed in my leathers was around 26 G. So that initial impact meant that at that point we calculated that my body weight was around 7,000 kilos, I believe. So yes, it was quite a significant impact. I guess the most unfortunate thing is the fact that I would have actually got up and walked away had the bike not ridden over my leg when it caught up with me sideways, which caused the trauma that I'm now recovering from in my knee. I guess the key point there is that I was very fortunate again that I managed to sort of get away with, in my mind, what is not necessarily a particularly bad injury, and every morning I wake up thinking to myself, this is one day less until I can get back onto my bike, get back to the same track, get back to it at the same speed, if not faster, and basically learn from my mistake and continue from there. I guess another key point with that was the fact that not many people, just to set the context, would tend to get away with crashing at those sorts of speeds. And even one of my sponsors that looks after me for my leathers and various other sort of safety aspects actually requested my leathers back, because generally at that speed the injuries are so significant that frankly the leathers had to be cut off the individual. So in this instance they were still intact, so they were effectively, the company has been analysing those and has those basically as a data point now to see what leathers can sustain at that sort of speed. So yes, it was certainly an experience, but as I say, it's a sort of one of many. So yeah, can't wait to get back.